Hi everyone, so Susan here, and I want to share today an opinion that I have on something that actually impacts parenting and teaching in the work that we do in schools. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just going to give you my lens on it. And what I would really appreciate is if you respond to this video, this vlog, and let me know your thoughts. I realize what I'm bringing up is complex and might trigger sort of all sorts of questions and opinions, and that's good. I actually invite you to share. So I have for a long time had a real issue with the messaging around stranger danger. And I've been a teacher. I worked in safe schools area. I've read, I'm like others, see the news and understand why this sort of messaging is given to our children, and why we as parents sometimes do that as well, right? And anyone that's done that, I'm not criticizing that. I actually understand that your thought and that the approach has been to make things safer for kids. And there's arguments out there, about who are actually the danger. So there's lots of research out there. I think you've probably read some of it about the fact that the true stranger danger is often someone and that's not really the purpose here of my video. What I want to talk about is from my perspective a self-reg lens on really how we help our children and our students develop their internal radar, their internal instincts, their internal compass, and learn to trust those instincts as a way of being safer and acting safer and making choices. So here's what I mean. I think that the idea of telling kids, that if they are a stranger, they are, you just don't talk to strangers. It kind of defeats, it defeats what I think our world needs, which is more connections and more trust, and believing that people are mostly good, and that those who aren't, that they need supports and going through their challenges of their own. But it also, does that mean that you don't talk to the little old lady, who's having a hard time getting across the street? Well, of course you talk to, and I've worked really hard on my daughter, trying to help make sure that she notices and acknowledges the people that we walk by on the streets that are, that are different from us, or, somebody that's asking for money, or how do you actually respond to that, and remembering that folks are human beings. It's also about learning to trust your own instincts. Think about yourself as an adult. How do you know who to say hello to on the elevator, and when to kind of just, look at your feet or look at the numbers, and sometimes we do that because we're socially uncomfortable or what have you, but when do you know the difference? When I lived in Italy, one of my favorite things about the Italians, where you do not walk in anywhere and not greet people, with some version of hello or good day. And it's just a respect thing that you do. And you become very aware that, in North America, we don't always do that, right? We don't talk to strangers. But if we actually think about our internal compass, it picks up a lot. I read a study the other day about third-party stress, and there's quite a few coming out about how we can pick up the signs of taking on the stress of others. And this one referenced as well a study about individuals' ability to actually tell the difference between the sweat of someone who had just gone skydiving versus somebody who had just worked out. So it's an unconscious thing. They don't realize what it is that they're sensing, but they're sensing a different type of stress. There are all of these brilliant brain-body functions going on where we can actually intuitively, and I think there's more than just that, but intuitively understand what's safe and what's not. And you can teach your children to do this, and teaching them to trust their instincts, to me, helps make them safer. So a couple things I've done with my daughter. I've taught her, if she ever feels unsafe, to find a woman. There's science behind that too, but if she ever feels unsafe, to find the nearest woman that she can, and you've got a pretty good chance of getting some support. I've also taught her to trust her instincts, and I've taught her to say hello to people. I don't want her to grow up thinking about stranger danger and afraid of strangers at every corner. But if somebody feels unsafe to her for some reason, to trust that instinct. Pull away, go find the support that you need. So, I mean, that's just me. I understand schools have to keep, there's messaging and that everybody wants our kids to feel safe, and trust me, nobody more than me. But I wonder, really, does teaching our children that stranger means danger? Is that really the way they want to go? Does that really make our kids safer? Does it really make our world safer? So I'm looking forward to see what your thoughts are on this. And I welcome the disagreements. That's absolutely okay. And I think it's okay to talk about this as about our stress as adults as well. We think that when we teach kids about stranger danger that we're actually making them safer, which makes us feel, lowers our stress as well, because of course it's an awful feeling to think your children aren't safe. So what do you think? What are your thoughts about stranger danger? And are there alternative ways to look at this, think about this, and talk to our children about this?